Why is the United States flag flying at half-staff? The question itself is a symptom of the underlying problem. The US flag is a symbol, a powerful symbol. Yet, these days, the flag seems to be flying at half-staff constantly. How did this happen? And does it have a deeper meaning for our republic? Anecdotally, I had first started to really notice the phenomenon myself several months back. We live close to the government center in my town, so there are numerous flags flying outside of the police, fire, and other government buildings. It had gotten to the point that I casually mentioned to my wife several times that it would be more newsworthy if the flag was not at half staff. But, as I've had time to let the idea percolate, I've started to realize it's indicative of a broader trend. On to the issue of symbolism, though. The US flag has been a representation of certain values: freedom, liberty, and justice. More than that, though, it is the idea of the United States made manifest in a singular physical object. This isn't a novel notion. The words to the Pledge of Allegiance state as much. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands. It also emblematizes bravery, courage, and patriotism. The national anthem of the United States is literally a song titled The Star-Spangled Banner. It was written by Francis Scott Key about the defense of Fort McHenry against the British during the Battle of Baltimore. His lyrics speak to the inspiration that the flag represented to the defenders, and how it is a sign that the United States would never be broken as long as the flag flew high and true. This recognition of valor stretches across the centuries. The gallantry of our fallen soldiers is acknowledged by the draping of their caskets with the flag when they lay down their lives on behalf of our country. The flag is offered to the families of the fallen as a consolation, and in respect for what Abraham Lincoln called the solemn pride in having laid so costly a sacrifice upon the altar of freedom. Why, then, is a banner that should be held aloft and free constantly seem to be at half-staff these days? Having served in the military, I'm familiar with the rules and traditions surrounding the display and keeping of the flag. Even to the layperson, certain standards are familiar, such as never let the flag touch the ground. Others are more obscure, such as requiring it to be lit if flown at night, and always being placed higher than another flag on the same pole. Further, the US flag dips for nothing and no one, not even a president. So what are the rules surrounding flying the flag at half-staff? This is actually governed by Title IV of the US Code, which is appropriately titled the US Flag Code. Flying the flag at half-staff is a gesture of mourning, respect, and remembrance. On the federal level, the reasons mandated by code are the death of a current president, vice president, Supreme Court justice, cabinet member, or member of Congress, all for varying durations. Additionally, this extends to former presidents and chief justices. Further, specific days such as Memorial and Patriots' Day are mandatory as well. On the whole, this isn't a wide aperture of justifications. In fact, federally mandated lowerings have only averaged about 7.5 per year during the last 5 years. If that's the case, then why does the flag seem to be at half-staff far more often? It has to do with the discretionary authority that the US Flag Code grants to the president. This allows for national tragedies, disasters, and global events to be approved reasons. Further, it can also include the death of notable Americans, the magnitude of whose significance is determined by the current president. That's already a nebulous enough definition, but things go further. Those rules govern the federal authorities and orders. State governors and legislators can also lower flags based on their discretion as well. This is what leads to what could be described as an epidemic of flags at half-staff. When you combine all these numerous cases, justifications, and reasons, the number of days that the flag is raised proudly is dramatically reduced. Further, it reduces the impact that such an action has, to the point that the average person doesn't know why the flag is reduced, just that it is. Now, I'll be honest, I have quibbles with even the formal federal mandates for lowering the flag. Memorial Day and Patriots' Day are understandable, but those are just 0.5% of the days of the year. The death of a former president, however, directs 30 days of the flags at half staff. It's not that presidents don't do a lot for the country. They are public servants and must make hard decisions. Yet, it's often the pinnacle of a personally ambitious political career. There are, of course, exceptions to this. A president who dies or is killed in office, such as JFK, I would argue is deserving. I'll allow that I may have an extremist view on this issue insofar as the mandated lowerings are concerned. However, my real opposition is to the more discretionary decisions at both the federal and lower levels. It may seem trivial, but I believe it is a more consequential indication of the state of the republic.
Everyone's special, Dash, which is another way of saying no one is.
We have debased the meaning of lowering our most venerated symbol to the point that it can be done even for local community business people if so directed. That is not to say those people did not have a sizable influence, especially to those that knew them. But, at its root, it is really an inflation of people's feelings of self-importance. The deceased individual may not have felt their life deserved the most solemn sign of national sadness, but those around them hope secretly, within their own hearts, that when they go, their lives will be honored the same.
Everyone can be super. And when everyone's super, no one will be.
It's a bold take, but I don't think it's an incorrect one. It's an extension of the main character syndrome that has infected our culture. Everyone gets a participation trophy. Everyone gets the flag lowered for their passing. You can do anything you want as long as you believe in yourself. And if you believe that you deserve the respect of the nation, represented through its flag, for the life that you lived, then so be it. It's the elevation of mediocrity to be on the same level as heroism. The one-term state legislator is equal to the Medal of Honor recipient.
They keep creating new ways to celebrate mediocrity, but
There are other hot takes on this. The most recent one is the trite comparison that the flag is at half-staff due to the alleged death of democracy. These comments come from the same side that is still somehow going to the voting booth in state and local special elections in this supposed dictatorship we now inhabit. It's only further proof, in my opinion, of the devaluation of the action. If it occurs with such regularity and for such menial reasons that what can only be described as a joke is made of it. In the end, I'm not surprised. Polling has indicated that over 70% of that side happily declared they would rather flee the country than fight if it were invaded. The country and its flag don't actually mean anything to them. It still does to me, though, and I hope to you as well. Hopefully, this video has been educational, informative, and perhaps swayed your opinion somewhat. My other aspiration is that soon we can return to a place where the majority of the country's citizens can once again respect their flag and the republic for which it stands. Thank you for listening and honoring me with your time. Please like, subscribe, and sign up for alerts if you want to see more content like this.